Time for sport now with Tim Martin, and it's goodbye to a local basketball star.
Yeah, Fiona, Nick Kay is off to Sydney to further his career. We'll catch up with him next. Plus, Matty Neen heads to the Sharks. He's helped the West Lions to their first rugby league premiership in years. He's been hailed as the next Preston Campbell. Now Tamworth's Matty Neen is off to cut his teeth in the NRL. Matty Neen's only 18, but he was instrumental in the West Lions' win over the North Tamworth Bears in the Group 4 Grand Final. Magic touches, deft chips and uncanny ability. It's no wonder NRL clubs are chasing this talented wonder kid.
Matty Neen, what can you say about him? He's going to be a sensation. He's off to Cronulla and we wish him the best, and he could be the next Preston Campbell.
After helping his Lions team break a 4-year Bears stranglehold on the premiership, Neen has headed down to Sydney to train and trial with the Cronulla Sharks.
Now for sport, and Tim, some emus to fly away.
Well, so to speak. A couple of local cricketers are off to New Zealand. We'll have more on that next. Plus, Robbie Dean's in the hot seat. Well, it's that time again, and tonight we put a former All Black on the couch. Wallabies coach Robbie Deans is in the hot seat. Here we are, 60 seconds on the bench with Wallabies coach Robbie Deans. Now, Robbie, when you were growing up as a kid, who was your sporting idol?
Sporting idol would have been Dennis Lilly, to be honest. He had everything. Could do anything with the ball, could make it talk. But he also had that streak that made people nervous.
So who was the best player you've played with or coached?
Playing with would be Michael Jones, probably. Only was fortunate enough briefly to play with him. He was a freak.
Mate, what has been your career highlight?
It's coming.
Well, what's your ultimate sporting goal then?
Sport. The great thing about sport is you've got to live in the moment. So the key to that is enjoying it and enjoying the challenges, and inevitably challenges shared and overcome are more enjoyable than things done by yourself, and that's what makes footy so good. So, yeah, I mean, we've got a great opportunity here in the next couple of years, and that's what really excites me, but it's not so much about me, it's about the group. I just want to see the group get up.
Nice. Robbie, thanks for having 60 seconds on the bench.
No trouble, mate. Thank you.
Come Saturday, this will be the theatre of dreams for our local cowboys and cowgirls. They'll be out to impress the judges and the crowd. The Inverell youngster Brett Druitt had to sink a similar putt to this to take the game from Ben. As you can see, it's a pretty tough ask. These two young tennis players have a lot on the agenda. After Bathurst, it's straight back to Tamworth for the Easter tennis tournament, and then off to Mildura for the Winter Nationals. They say size doesn't matter in rugby league, and especially if you've got enthusiasm like this. Oh, they'll get through you and score every time. And now it's time for On the Couch with a very special guest, Australian, New South Wales and Parramatta Rugby League legend, Peter Sterling. Alright, here we are, 60 seconds on the couch with the man who almost coined the term, rugby league legend Peter Sterling. Now Peter, when you were a boy, who was your sporting idol?
A bloke called Craig Johnson was a soccer player, played at Liverpool, but was an Aussie who did well over there.
Mate, who's been the best you played with or against?
Best player I ever played with was Ray Price, the best against Wally Lewis.
What was the most memorable moment of your sporting career?
Can't separate three. Winning my first grand final with Parramatta in 1981. First time I played from a country, and that was on tour in '82, and I got to play in front of 100,000 people at Wembley in a Challenge Cup final playing for Hull FC. And
how's the game changed between when you were playing and now?
Bigger, faster, stronger, better athletes. Certainly a lot of rule changes that have made a difference as well. The game now is so different to 20 years ago, it's almost unrecognisable.
Who is the coach that influenced you most?
Jack Gibson, no doubt, super coach, the first super coach and the true one. And taught me more about being successful as a person than he ever did about being a rugby league player, and that was, that was the quality of the man.
And mate, can you single out one future player out of the current ranks that you can see going on to greatness?
I like Daniel Mortimer. He's obviously got the breeding, but there are some players in our game who are footballers the first time you lay eyes on them, and he was marvellous for Parramatta in the 2008 season and has got a big future.
Stello, thank you for having 60 seconds on the couch with us.
Enjoyed it all, thanks Tim.
And Fiona, absolutely great bloke to have a chat to, and Sterlo's probably my favourite on the couch so far.
With plenty to say too. Thanks for that, Tim. We'll see you again tomorrow. Yeah. Sport now with Tim Martin and Tim. International shooters soon coming to Tamworth.
That's right, Fiona. A redeveloped pistol club set to attract some of the world's best. We'll have more on that next, plus all the action from Tamworth's Twilight Races. Tamworth Pistol Club set to fire onto the world stage next year, with work on a new internationally recognised indoor air pistol range almost complete. Government funding helping local shooters aim high. From rugby union to rugby league, and now we have the second instalment in our Best of the Noughties series. We take a look at the local rugby league stars who went on to greatness in the game. The Northwest and New England have been breeding grounds for Australia's top footy players over the years. The Noughties were no exception. Tingers Nathan Blacklock continued his devastating form for the Dragons at the start of the decade, as did Gunnedar's Richard Swain. The Melbourne Storm hero was the first NRL player to notch up 1,000 tackles in a season and added a couple of tries to the list too.
In goes Richard Swain.
Several other homegrown heroes were playing in the big league at the start of the noughties, whereas Creek's Matty Parsons one of them. The Newcastle legend went from the Rabbitohs to the Knights to the Werris Creek Magpies and then finally the North Tamworth Bears, the decade all footy for the local Gentle Giants. The Creek produced another NRL player in Gold Coast Titan Brad Davis. His first grade debut, one to remember.
Take it forward through Davis. He'll be happy with his game.
Some old heads came and went throughout the noughties. Narrabri's Jason Moody gave Para fans some memories, and then of course there was Glen Innes's Jason Ferris.
Swooped upon by Ferris. There's nobody at home, and the halfback will run away to score a try for the Utes.
Tinga was up to its old tricks after Blacklock was Owen Craigie. The night come Rabbitoh was then followed by one of the players of the decade.
What a try, Preston Campbell.
Thank you for your support all the way through the season. Not just in Tinga.
Preston Campbell, part of the premiership winning Panthers team in 03, never forgot his Tinga upbringing, especially when he moved just up the road to the Gold Coast. Inverell's Bailey brothers made an impact on the game. Phil, an Origin and Australian star, brother Chris, a knight in Northwest armour. Trent Sorkeld was another local at the Novocastrian Fortress, one who crossed the line regularly. He was just one of a number of Tamworth representatives playing in the NRL. Phil Graham wasn't alone in the nation's capital. He was joined by Dungowan star and Raiders stalwart Alan Tongue. Tungy inspired his own generation of rugby league superstars, headed by Tom Leroyd-Lars.
Oh, Leroyd-Lars and Carmichael Hunt came together.
We can't forget Armidale's darling Dean Widders, who was at his best both on and off the field, so much so he picked up the Ken Stevens medal in 2004. Crindai boy Benny Smith crashed his way into the grand final last year, and Brad Tye was no stranger to premierships. But the player who arguably summed up the roller coaster ride that was the NRL in the noughties was Wee War's favourite son, Jamie Lyon. The on-again, off-again rep player walked away from the game in the mid-2000s, only to return to premiership glory. Local players are already knocking on the door for the NRL's next decade. Fiona, what a decade!
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim. See you again tomorrow for more.